Hello everybody, thank you for coming to my YouTube channel. Today is our very first in-person interview with a fellow corporate dropout. We have Martin, CEO, or are you the CEO or project manager?
I'm a co-founder, let's say.
Co-founder of Martech, a company from Germany, and he's moved to Hokkaido and they're revolutionizing the way you book hotels for conferences. So Martin, I want you to explain what you do to me as if I was a high school student.
Perfect. Thank you, Donald, for having me here. So at Martech, what do? We found out that conference hotels, so big hotels that have conferences there, they do big events, that they have difficulties in offering the conference rooms to big companies. Let's say you're Coca-Cola and you want to have a big conference with like thousands of managers.
Yeah.
You think about this conference, maybe with your team, and then think about, okay, we need so many rooms, we need so many days, we want to do this and that and blah, blah. You come up with a long PDF or whatever you use to organize everything, send it out to a lot of conferences. And those conference hotels just want to give you an offer. Okay, this is so many nights, so many people, 20,000 euro. And this process takes like 2 to 16 hours just to make it. And we want to make it to 5 minutes.
Faster, nice, okay.
Yeah.
And is it working?
So it's a long way to go there. Actually, we planned everything to be ready in like 2 years.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I should just start explaining the whole story because actually we planned to make it super simple, just to do the whole thing in 2 years and then start selling it, because we kind of had an investor in the beginning, so we could have just done it in a very easy and unpressured way. Okay. But this now changed.
Oh no.
And yeah, now we try to I think you know the lean startup method?
Yes.
Yeah. So we try to do little step-by-steps to help conference hotels already in this process, but just with a little thing and then the other thing and then the other thing, and then try to sell it and sell it and sell it and then make it maybe more expensive in the future.
And is this hotels in Germany or in Japan?
So the hotels we're working with right now are in Germany.
Germany, okay.
But our strategy is to target the European market and the Asian market. Yes. Because the European market is the biggest MICE industry right now. Yeah. It's called MICE, the hotel, meeting and conference industry. And Asia is the fastest growing market. Yeah. And they're also more open to innovation. So that's why we want to try to target both and then see which market works better, kind of.
What about us North Americans? Did you forget about us?
Yeah, I think it's not easy to just target the whole world. Yeah. I mean, already 2 continents is very big.
Oh man, no, that's fair.
Yeah, that's actually not really 2 continents. We tried Germany and especially Japan and Korea because we're in an accelerator program called Asia Berlin. That's amazing. And in this batch that we now are part of, they connect Germany to Japan and Korea.
It's fantastic. Wow. So as a fellow corporate dropout, you quit your job 2 years ago. Tell me about that. How did you decide to be an entrepreneur?
Yeah. I already decided to become an entrepreneur after graduating, actually. So it's 2025, so...
Graduating high school or university?
University.
University,
okay. So 7 years ago.
Yes.
I already had a lot of ideas with a friend, like stupid ideas, but yeah. We already knew that we wanted to become entrepreneurs, but the question was just when and with what, kinda. And 7 years ago, I graduated, but then I didn't want to start working, so I went to Japan for the first time. And after Japan, my friend already got ahead of me, kind of. So he started the first business, which was a tutoring business. So we connected tutoring like college students and is college and university the same?
Same thing.
Okay,
Yeah.
so college students who are good at maths, for example,
Yes.
and they want to earn extra money. So we hired them as teachers, and they were able to teach high school or middle school students who were
That's
bad
smart.
at math. And we built the whole system landscape. So I built it completely from scratch
Yeah.
to connect them, do the invoicing, do the time tracking and everything. And we got a little portion of the money that they got. And this is a long story right now, but I'm explaining you the way how I came there where I'm now. Because he started this thing, the process was super bad. We talked about it, and I was like, okay, let me join. I'll do this, like the
Yes.
technological part about it with you. And then I built the whole thing, and it kind of worked. So we already had like
Kind
two.
of. Okay.
Yeah.
I like
kind
that
of
word,
worked.
kind of.
Kind of worked because, like, from a business perspective,
Yes.
because we had a lot of traction, and I did not realize that until kind of now,
Yeah.
because I did not know what traction was. So we had 200 student-teacher connections, which is super good for a beginning.
That's
But
amazing.
we charged super low. So we didn't earn anything.
Yeah.
I worked for this company, or our company, like 5-6 years.
Yeah. On
and
the side.
I didn't earn anything.
Ah.
I learned a lot,
Yeah.
and it made me become who I am right now.
And I'd say you earned more than you can imagine.
Yes, but not money-wise.
Not money-wise.
Yeah. So I did this while working.
Yeah.
After graduating, I became an SAP consultant.
Yeah.
And the good part about it is that I was in a key position because I came from the programmer coder
Yeah.
side, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
But my boss always wanted me to become more the consultant.
More
That-
salesy.
Yeah, and not sales, but more process oriented and really like optimizing things,
Yes.
and not just coding.
Yeah.
Not just simple coding. That made me become a key role, because normally in the SAP world, you
Mhm.
have these two teams: developers, consultants. And developers can only develop; they don't know anything about processes. And the consultants, they only know processes; they don't know anything about the code. Them talking together, super bad. But I am both, so I understand the client.
Yes.
I understand their system. I know how to consult them and teach them what to do. And then I don't have to talk to anyone. I can just program it myself.
Honestly, I agree. Me being in the same boat, like I studied actuarial science, so I'm very technical. I'm the CEO of a company, but I also write a lot of the code myself. A message to the viewers: if your CEO can't code, quit your job. Because honestly,
Or at
nowadays
least understand.
you need to be able to do both. That's how tough the market is right now. It's very competitive. So if you're not the type of guy who can do everything, you really shouldn't be leading a company. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
It might be controversial.
Makes sense. Or at least have a feeling for it, like
Yes.
appreciating it. I think it's also a
100%.
big thing. Yeah, so I was at this key position, or still am,
Yeah.
and I did the full-time job and then full-time company, startup, and I knew I needed more time for the company to actually work.
Yes.
So actually I quit twice. So the first time I quit, and they said, okay, you cannot. Like right now with all the project, that's not possible. Please, can you stay at least like 3 days or 2 days, whatever. And I said, okay, actually that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Maybe not like do the whole thing and quit completely, because I didn't have any income that time. So my wish was actually that giving me this more time actually also increases our income, and then I can live from it. That was absolutely not the case. So the first time I quit, it was I reduced my hours to like 16 to 20 hours per week, but I was still employed. I did this for a year, and then I found, okay, I really want to commit and do this now,
Yeah.
100%. And I quit another time. and I already booked my flights to Bali because I wanted to go to Bali, become a digital nomad. And yeah, they told me again, like, can you not just reduce to 8 hours or something? We really need you. And I thought, okay, maybe 8 hours, but I already booked my flights to Bali. I want to work from there. And they said, okay, this is like insurance-wise, I don't know, does not work.
Yeah.
So they said, why not becoming a freelancer? And I thought, okay, that's a good idea. And I did not know, because if I knew, I would have done it earlier. My income kind of, how do you say it in English? But it became like 5 times more.
Skyrocketed.
Yeah, so
That's
I did the same thing, working less, earning more, and I was able to travel.
That's amazing.
So yeah, I really love that.
Yeah.
Yes, and this is how I became a digital nomad. And then after a while, we found out that Besser in der Schule is the name, the German name for the tutoring business.
Yeah.
Was not very profitable, and then we got the chance to, start with Martech.
So that's amazing. From tutoring, actually, I used to do tutoring as well when I was younger. I was pretty good at math. And honestly, one of the biggest motivators for me is I love helping students. And so I do a lot of work for students right now. And so I'm curious, what motivates you?
Yes, that's very good. Good question. I did not know this when I was tutoring as well. I kind of had the feeling of it, but I love this journey of seeing someone who has a talent or does not know that he has a talent or she has a talent. And seeing them grow is a big fulfillment for me.
Yeah.
So, for example, if you see someone can think properly and learn, and super bad at math because no one really explains it well, and then seeing them from having super bad grades to having medium grades to having actually very good excellent grades, that's super nice.
It's amazing. And what were the first steps you took to bring this vision to life?
It kind of feels led, so I didn't really actively chose this way.
Yeah.
It just happened to me, and I accepted the way I was led. So the last 2-3 years, I thought a lot about myself, like who I want to be, what is the purpose of my existence, and what I'm good at, what can I do for the community. And I found out that what I envision for my future is I want to be so good at business that I only need someone who has a talent, who doesn't want to do anything with the business part, like bureaucracy or marketing or whatever, to be actually able to monetize it. Let's say you're super good at cutting hair and you would love to make a business out of it.
Yeah.
So you can come to me and I'll do everything. I just help you with setting up everything, connecting you to the right people, so that you can just focus on cutting hair and become, successful with it.
Is this like a side hustle on top of Martech?
This is no, actually not. This is my personal life vision.
Yeah.
And with Martech, for example, my friend who's building the whole solution, he's a pioneer for good technology, for new things, for AI, for everything. And you just have to give him an idea and say, like, code a little bit, and then he'll just come up and do things. But he is not the kind of person that would just start a business. And I mean, now, yes, of course, maybe if he hears that now, he will say, like, what are you talking about? But I think his talent is more in this really like coding, thinking about problem solutions for problems. And the business thing, this is what I want to take from his shoulders, so that he can just focus on his talent, because I think that he can really do an amazing job with it.
Yep.
But doing both business and developing will not work. So I want to take this from his shoulders. He can just focus on creating excellent solutions, and this is what we're doing. And this is, so Martech right now for me is exactly trying to work on my future vision to help him getting successful with this business. And also because we started it together, of course, we share.
I like the vision.
50-50.
Oh, that's good. Before we continue, I want to give a brief shout out to our sponsor today, Perry's Bar. If you can see behind me, they're a brand new bar/lounge in Shibuya. They have fantastic events. It's a beautiful venue. It's located right next to Tower Records. And please feel free to check them out. If you're ever in downtown Shibuya in Tokyo, you can reach out to me and I can give you a referral. Okay, thank you, Martin. So my next question for you is, how do you define success in the early stages of a startup?
Wow. So in the early stages, success is not money. And also in the later stages, it's not money really. But it's an indicator for me, I think, that it's working. So in the early stages, I think success is a lot of people who like what you're doing and give you good feedback.
Okay. And have you gotten that from like your coworkers or your clients? Who's the main target you want this feedback from?
So the first people who give you feedback, I think, are friends and family.
Yep.
But the feedback is always good.
It's usually negative, you know.
Negative?
If it's your parents, they're like, "Why'd you quit your job?"
Yeah, that's true. But so I'm the youngest child, and my parents, they support me in every way, kind of.
Yeah.
So they never really said, "Yeah, you shouldn't do that," or "Why did you quit?" or anything. They always like, "Oh, that's so cool. What are you doing? Yeah, nice."
That's amazing.
And friends are similar. So when you explain them something like that, it always sounds, "Wow, what? You can travel and you can work while doing that, and you get paid." That's super nice, but it's like I didn't get anywhere yet. So this is super good in the beginning, but then having your first critique where they say, "I don't like that," you're like, "Oh, that's good. That's refreshing."
Yeah. Now you know how to readjust.
Yes, absolutely. And just getting your idea out and people actually be at least so interested to give you feedback, that's, I think, the first success that you have. Just people giving you feedback.
Wow. And what's some of the best feedback you've gotten so far?
Best feedback we've gotten so far. So we pivoted a lot with Martech already because we started with a way too big vision. And then we got a little smaller, we had a good idea, and then actually we had a super good idea in my mind, in my opinion. And then I talked to a guy, Alan Petrie is his name. He is in the hospitality business for like 36 years now, so he has a lot of experience. And what he said was, "You're doing the wrong thing." I was like, "What?"
He just called you out?
Like, I thought so long about this. And yeah, I think that was a very good point, because now I compared what we were trying to do to what he said we should do. And there's a way to not super perfectly combine it, but go in the direction that he said or suggested, and maybe use a little bit of what we thought about before.
Alan Petrie.
Alan Petrie.
Okay, what was he famous for?
So actually, I just tried to reach out to a lot of CEOs on LinkedIn or general managers for hotels.
Yes.
And sometimes the filter is a little bit off.
Okay.
So I reached out to him, who is not a general manager for hotels, but he's a consultant for hotels. And then he replied and said, "Actually, I'm not a general manager, but what are you doing?" And then we started talking.
Yeah.
And he has a lot of experiences helping hotels doing anything, actually. So he said that, for example, when he comes to a hotel and looks into the room, he can say like, okay, the sockets should be like a little higher or a little lower, like this level kind of detail. But also he consults them in, okay, you should use this software to do this. And this is how we started talking.
Okay. And so do you see him as sort of a mentor to you?
We only talked once for now, so he's not a mentor yet, but it's a very big opportunity to get in touch with bigger hotels.
Yes.
And also, his future vision is to build a hotel chain that is dedicated or focused on digital nomads.
Yeah.
And this is super interesting for me because I am a digital nomad.
Yeah.
So maybe in the future we could work together, and I'd like to
Interesting for me too. I'm also a digital nomad.
Absolutely. Yeah, because he said that digital nomads usually have some requirements
Yes.
that they need when they travel. For example, like fast internet,
Yeah.
having like little booths maybe where they can talk without people interrupting
Exactly.
or things like that. And also normally, I don't know if that's super normal, but the most people I met that are digital nomads also like to work out or have like a routine or something.
Yeah.
So having a hotel with a like proper gym, for example, would be nice, with good internet, with possibilities to network and talk to people. Yeah.
It's a
Things like
brilliant
this.
idea. No, we,
Yeah.
we should get this guy on the show.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I can ask him.
No, that's fantastic. And so, what are your thoughts on mentorship then? Like, do you have a mentor?
Yes, I have a mentor, a business mentor I met on Bali. His name is Cal. Caleb?
Caleb, Kyle.
No, I have to. Oh man, I have to cut this out.
Not that
His
good of
name
a
is
mentor,
Cal.
I guess.
Yeah, his name is Cal, and he's a very good mentor. Actually, I met him in a spa
Okay.
in Bali, in the Istana. And I was just asking what he's doing, and he said exactly what I was looking for at this time, because we were at the pivoting moment with Besser in der Schule,
Yeah.
where we discussed about our roles and responsibilities, because we started like super naive and just did like, oh, you can do this, and you can do this, and blah blah, and then people were doing the same thing, and then we kind of got in the way of each other,
Yes.
and then had a lot of arguments and whatever. And then we said, okay, we need responsibilities. And I was responsible for business development and strategy. And I just asked him, oh, what are you doing? And he said, yeah, I'm a mentor for business and like business development and strategy. And I was like, what? This is exactly what I want to learn now.
Yeah.
And
You guys met at a sauna?
in a hot tub.
Hot tub. Okay. It's a great way to meet a mentor.
Yeah, we were sitting next to each other, and then I was asking him how he finds clients like for mentoring, and he said, actually, like this.
Like this. He just
was like,
hangs
yeah.
out at the bathtub.
Yeah, he said it's just organically. He's talking about what he's doing, and then he finds people, and then that's how I found him.
Wow, that's fantastic. And so, being a digital nomad, I'm sure you do a lot of like traveling and sightseeing. How do you balance your personal life and your work?
Yeah, that's an ongoing process, I think. So I try to aim on 6 hours of productive work, which is not that easy when you are an entrepreneur, because your standards are high.
Yeah.
When you work for a company, you work 8 hours, but it's just you appear and then you leave 8 hours later.
Yes.
Your productive hours were maybe 2 or 3. So productive hours for me are like super dedicated work, and I try to track this.
Yeah.
And yes, so these 6 hours are mostly distributed on 12 or something.
Yeah.
And then I try to have some routines where I really strictly wake up, do like my quality time where I'm a Christian. I read the Bible and pray and like kind of start the day, and then have like dedicated work sessions, dedicated gym sessions, and then try to have free time after like 6 p.m. or something, and then try to connect with people.
So you mentioned you're a Christian. How has faith shaped your entrepreneurship journey?
That's everything that shaped my whole entrepreneurship life, I think.
Yes.
Because, for example, quitting, I did not come up with the idea of quitting. I just thought like, oh, I need more time. And then I was at church, and a guy just kind of came to me and said like, okay, I have a word for you.
Yeah.
Sometimes this happens at church, like prophetic words. People have something that they really want to share with you because God told them to do. And he told me that there's a super big and tough decision I'm like right now in front of,
Mm-hmm.
and I will be scared and I will not have anything, kind of. So
Okay.
I didn't have any income or anything, but do it. I was like, okay.
I mean, you're
Where-
your strongest when your back is against a wall.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And yeah, in this moment, I was like, what is this idea he's talking about? And then it came up like, okay, maybe that's it. And yeah, I prayed about it and got the answer. Yeah, this is what you should do. And God's ways are always funny because this is what he told me, like, quit. And then I really wanted to do it. I said, okay, I want to quit. And then they told me, can you not reduce your hours? And I was like, no, I understand. Because I think this is the way he wanted it to be. If I would have said to them, can I reduce my hours, please? Then they would have the bigger, how do you say, like
The advantage, like the
they have the
leverage.
advantage.
Yeah.
They can say like, okay, how many hours, blah, blah, blah. Okay, then maybe about this amount of money or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But when you say you quit and then they ask you, can you not stay? Then you have the advantage. You can say like, okay,
All about leverage.
let's talk about that. Yeah. So this enabled me to actually go this path. Yeah.
That's
And this
amazing.
happened a lot of times where I just prayed about something and then did something I would have not done.
Yeah.
And it worked out very well.
What values are non-negotiable for you in entrepreneurship and business and in life?
Truth
Truth.
and trust. So I will not ever go by the way of fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
I will never say, okay, we have so many clients and we have this and we are already built everything, but then we only have like a little small part that we show or something. I will be very transparent.
Mm-hmm. That's amazing. So now be transparent with me. What are your goals for this year and how can my viewers help you?
Wow, my goals for this year are partnerships, I would say. So
With whom?
with softwares that, so CMS systems, for example, that already have a booking system for conference hotels.
What does CMS stand for?
CMS is the content management system.
Okay.
So, for example, right now we're talking to Event Temple.
Yep.
They're kind of new in the industry as well.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not that long there yet. I hope I don't say anything wrong. But they grew very fast.
Mm-hmm.
And also Alan Petrie told me, so I already knew of Event Temple before talking to him, but
Yep.
then he said it as well, that they are like rising and they do a very, very well job. And I would like to have softwares like this promoting what we're doing, because we would like to integrate into their systems.
Yep.
So to make it easier, because what they do is like the booking and everything, and you can manually type in things and then manually get things out. And what I would like to do is have a small solution that just analyzes everything using AI, putting that into the system, getting it out and sending it out again, so that the part in between, which normally a man or a woman has to do, will be just the system. And having this partnership and then them maybe promoting us to hotels would be super good.
Yep. Oh, that's amazing. Well, there you have it, guys. If anyone has a CMS system, please hit up Martin. I'll link all of his social media below. That's all we have time today. So thank you so much, Martin, for coming.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
We'll see you guys at the next interview. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.